So when you're not being a master of the universe in the corporate level, digitally disrupting those corporate drones out there that you once were, what does John Guscic do to enjoy himself?
I spend most of my downtime watching the Switzer show. That's
I'm glad to see you got your priorities right. Is it important for you to not dress like the big end of town when you are trying to disrupt the big end of town?
Gee, I'm tempted to say I'm Robert De Niro, but...
were there ever scary moments in the history of Webjet?
Look, from 98, when we started, to 2004, there were lots of moments that were problematic. Undercapitalised. We were competing against the global behemoths who had lots of money. They came to Australia, and it was a great gold rush, you know, where the advent of the internet, everything was going to be revolutionised, and travel was one of them, and lots of people came in. So I'll give you a fact that not even you would know, Peter, but back then, Telstra did a joint venture to go and compete in the online travel business.
Really?
And
they should have stuck with it, really. I've always wondered why isn't Telstra in these many areas? Being small, being entrepreneurial, do you think that was an advantage to you?
Of course.
Yeah. Why do you say of course?
Because if you come in with a legacy business, let's paint the picture of what happens if you're a legacy business and you have a startup. You want everyone to comply with the legacy business corporate structure, whether it's human resources, whether it's policy, whether it's approvals. So you think of all the great startups and the myth of the guy in the garage and his computer and one or two mates.
The job story.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't start with a rigorous structure and said, this is how we operate. He said, I want to do something that's transformational to this industry. As a consequence, he went out and did stuff and made it happen. It's
interesting because when you think about big businesses, they do find it very difficult to adapt to a changing situation. And I know I've talked about Telstra recently and Optus, and these companies just don't seem to be able to do the things that an entrepreneurial company can do. But they've got, an entrepreneurial company has got. They've got capital, and they've got expertise, but they haven't got that one missing ingredient. What do you think is that missing ingredient?
Appetite for risk. If you're sitting in my shoes, I look at the world through an asymmetric outcome. I want massive success, or I want massive failure. If you're not prepared for massive failure, you can never have massive success. Most companies, and it's an unfortunate criticism of Australian organisations, all want to increment their way to success. And you never ever deliver anything because everyone's doing exactly the same thing that you are. If you're compliant with this is what the medium of this sort of industry is doing, you'll be delivering average results and you'll be up and down to the vagaries of the market. What we think about in our businesses is how can we disrupt them and how can we massively outperform them. So we look at the upside, and there is contagion risk. That's the reality of what we deal with, and we're prepared to back ourselves in executing.
How important is the outlook for the Australian and global economy when you're trying to work out where Webjet's going to go?
We tend not to focus too much on the macro picture. We look at our specific industry and we look at what are the things that we need to do to win, and we sort of focus all of our energies around that. We don't get distracted by saying, there could be another global recession, or there's a slowdown in air bookings in the market, or the hotel industry is being disrupted by Airbnb. We're very singular in our pursuit and very narrow in our focus, and as a consequence, we try to shut down all that noise.
And do you pick up business, say, from China? Because we know that's probably the fastest growing tourism producing country, or tourist producing country. Do you have access to that kind of growth as well?
Yes, we do. We have actually physical operations in China. We've got people based in both Beijing, Shanghai and Shenzhen. So we're contracting for hotels there, and we're selling to customers in China. It's not our largest Asian business, but it's not unreasonable to think 3, 4, 5 years down the track that it will be our largest Asian business.
Thanks for joining us on Switzer for a coffee.
Cheers.